Hello there folks, my name is Great Mighty Poe, and welcome to episode 2 of Dark Souls Remodding Basics of the Basics. Today, we are going into the absolute bare minimum for param editors. I'm not going to go into details on what all the params are, what all the fields do, how to do specific things, all that stuff. I'm not going to go into details like that, because that would make the scope of this video just way too big, and yeah, there's a lot in the params I don't actually know. Stuff I need to learn as well before I teach you how to do it. So we're just going to go through the basics of installing the tools, changing one param, and setting up mod engine to load that. So that's pretty much what we're doing. In future, if you have any requests for any specific stuff you want to do with params that you don't know how to do, just leave a comment and I'll get to it. Like stuff like making a new starting class, changing the gifts you start with, adding a weapon, adding a spell, stuff like that. I can do that in future. If there's stuff you want into, then just leave a comment, and I'll get to that in future. But first of all, we need to grab 4 things. Yes, 4 things, because there are a few tools for param edits, and we're going to use 3 of them. We're going to start off with Yapped. Sorry to take a drink there, my throat is really starting to go, because I've done many attempts of this. So, Yapped, this is your most basic, bare bones param editor. This works best if you aren't editing something from an existing mod. There's a lot of mods, they require Yapped Honeybear, but this here will just get you started. So we're just going to click on this, and save that file. And that will get us Yapped. Now we move on to Yapped Honeybear. So this is a specific version of Yapped that was created by Bowser, who was lead dev of Cinders, hence Honeybear. It's got a few unique things about it, so it's really useful to have. If you are wanting to play around with Cinders params, then you will need this one, or Param Studio. Regular Yapped won't work for normal Cinders params, so this one's really useful to have. So this one here says there's no releases over here, just go code, download zip, and save that file. And our next one, there's a more newer one, the nice new fancy one that says Param Studio. This is really powerful. This does have some requirements though, so we scroll down here. Should be, yep, system requirements. So check all this, make sure you have the requirements, make sure you got all the stuff here installed. If you don't, it won't work. One of the really cool things about this is for DS3, reloading params in a running game. So, one of the most annoying things about modding for a while is that in order to do edits, you'd have to quit out of the game, do the edit, load the game back up completely, and it would take forever, and it's really annoying. Still a lot of stuff that needs that, but with Param Studio, you don't need to do that. So it's a really cool tool, really useful. Unfortunately, I've gotten used to Yapped, so I don't use it all that much, but I'll try and change it in the future. Just go here, and save file. And then the final thing we need is mod engine. So mod engine is just your basic mod loader. It is the most useful program ever. Without this, we're still using UXM, and it's to be painful. So, yeah, I've gone through many takes at this point, so throat is really going badly. Just go here, manual download, and slow download, and that'll. Well, okay, I should click on that because it's really small, but yeah, and save file, and that is going to get you. If I can go into here, these 4 things here, and so we need to start installing these. Which installing them is really simple. So we have a modding tool folder, which we got last episode. Yeah, we're going to start off with Yapped. So just open up Yapped, drag and drop that into there. There we go, then we close that. Yapped Honeybear. Take a little bit longer this one, it's a little bit bigger. Not too much longer though. But it's just one-time thing. You can see it's got a lot more there than normal Yapped, just because it's got a few more features that are really useful. And Param Studio. Param Studio, as you can see, isn't an actual folder by itself, so you need to create a new folder, and just call that Param Studio, or whatever you want. Call it gobbledygook for all I care. It's up to use. And we can just go Control A, and drag and drop all that into there. And that'll take a little bit to do, not too bad though. About the same as Yapped Honeybear in terms of size. Param Studio, if you want to know, is a fork of a similar thing in Map Studio. Map Studio stopped being updated for a bit though. well, it's not been updated for a bit. It's kind of on a hiatus because Kalash has some real life stuff to deal with. So yeah, but there we go. We have Param Studio, Yapped 1.1, and Yapped Honeybear main. So once again, I recommend creating shortcuts on your desktop. So Yapped 1.1, this is the location for that. So you just click that. No, hang on. Yeah, you click it and you drag right click, and then you create a shortcut. So you can do that for that one. Param Studio, the exe is here, and for Yapped Honeybear, the exe is hidden a bit, and Yapped bin x64 debug in here. So yeah, you want to create shortcuts for those exes? That's what you can do. But we are going to get started with Yapped, and the first thing we need to do is we actually need to go to our game folder. A lovely little game folder here, and we need to create a new folder. Just call this whatever you're going to call your mod, so it's going to be called test mod. That works fine. Then we're going to take data 0, and we're going to control C that, go to test mod, and paste that in. There we go. Now if we want to load some mod engines, it's particularly a mod. So hey, create a mod, fantastic. But we actually want to edit data 0, so open up Yapped. And yes, it's going to say regulation file not found, so we need to tell it where to go. So we need to open that up. Dark Souls 3. Game. Okay. I'm so used to going to Cinder's DS3 there, almost instinctively there. Yeah, data 0, there we go. Open that up, and hey, we have a bunch of params. And we can edit these and do what we want to. One issue you might be noticing though, is nothing's got names. What is all this stuff? I mean, it'd be nice to know what all these bullets here are. How do we figure that out? Well, we need to go to Edit and Import Names, and click No here. Doesn't really matter though. And there you can go. Is input a bunch of stuff. Unfortunately, a lot of it is machine translated. So all the params were in Japanese, and then someone just bulk chucked them into a translator and just added them in. So yeah, and there's a lot missing, so yeah, it's not the best, unfortunately. But that is our first version of Yapped, and I do not recommend using this version of Yapped, just simply because it's missing this. Also because it can't create a game param DLC 2. So there's a feature in here that is missing that you can only get through Yapped Honeybear. So we're going to close that because we are done with Yapped. We don't need Yapped. We need Yapped Honeybear. So Yapped Honeybear, go all the way into here. It's going to ping us again going, hey, need to point me at the right thing. We're going to open that up. And now what we're going to do is not going to import names quite yet. We're doing something special to this. We're going to export. So we're going to export that. Boy, why is that going to local disk C? I don't know. Should be... Really? Why have you not... Okay. Well, I'll just make sure that nothing on my personal information was shown there. Nah, nothing that I'm aware of. I hope not. But there we go. They go to test mod. There we go. And if we go to test mod now, we're going to have these two here. Game param DLC 2 and stay param. So we need to create a new folder. Gonna have to call this param. It has to be called this. This isn't one of those cases where I'm just making a random folder. It has to be called param. In this folder, you're gonna need two folders. These need to be called game param, and another one called stay param. Exactly like that. And then we're gonna take these two here, drag and drop them into this folder. The game param goes to game param, stay param goes to stay param. So what's the difference between game param and stay param? Stay param, I'm going to start because that's most simple. It's just a bunch of binary. You can hex edit this, and it controls some interesting stuff like the length of your HP, FP, and stamina bars. That's in stay param as far as I'm aware, but you need to hex edit that. So out of scope of what I can do, might reach out to someone to help with that to figure that out in the future. Game param though, this is the most important one. This is pretty much just the data 0, but with one crucial difference. Data 0 has a memory limit. So if the size of data 0 gets too big, it will just start crashing. So your mod won't be able to be played at all. So this here gets around that. It can be any size you want and it won't crash. Well, I'm sure if you made it absolutely massive, it would probably still crash, but I think like it's a ridiculous amount before that happens, so don't have to worry about it. And so we can actually open that up. So param, game param DLC2. And now we can import names. I'm going to get the one issue that I have with Yapped Honeybear. I'm going to look at character init param, because this is where I know it is. It's right here that I can tell where something's wrong. These are not the gifts that you have in vanilla. They don't even have life gems in vanilla. So, Yapped Honeybear, because it is for Cinders, a lot of the param stuff is taken from Cinders, so what the Cinders params say. So some of it's not correct, but a lot of it is a lot better, because it's not machine translated. You can go into Bullet, with how bad it was before. You can see there's a lot more in here. Again, a lot of question marks, like it's Crystal Sage or something, but at least you know it's from the Crystal Sage. So, this is definitely better than regular Yapped, and it's definitely the better one to use. Just be a bit careful with some of the things Cinders does to name things. They might catch you off guard, but it's only a very, very minor amount of things. So it's definitely the better one. And we're actually going to now get into our first param edit. So I think I had all the way down here. Yeah, go through all the non-player stuff. I'll go through all the non-player stuff first and then ends up the player stuff later. So Fireball. Gonna open up Notepad++. I'll leave a link to this in the description. This is VFX list compiled by Rodin, and yeah, he got some help from a bowl of sangria. So Rodin's a very cool guy though. I want the rose. Yeah, Rose of Oriental. Give me that glitter burst. I want that. Gonna make a glitter ball. Don't change predictile ID there. If you want stuff and bullet stuff, I'll get into a separate video for that, because as you can see, a lot of stuff with bullets, a lot of it I need to learn, so yeah. Change that though, and I can save that. And you get that ding, you get used to that ding, it's going to drive you insane if you used Yapped. That ding doesn't mean it's saved, by the way, ding just means it's done something. Whether it saves or not is completely up to Yapped, and it's complete mystery. So, yeah. Right. I need to get into Mod Engine. I got completely lost for a second there. So, what we actually can do is need to get back to our game folder. Now we need to open up this. And this gets us Mod Engine. So we have a README, which we can totally ignore. Well, I think we can. Yeah, it just sort of tells you what to do. So what some of the features are, all that stuff. So we just need Mod Engine, input 8, drag and drop them into our game folder. There we go. And we can close that. Now we need to configure Mod Engine to load our mod, which is test mod, which I'm actually just going to copy that. So Control C that. There we go. Let's open up Mod Engine. Have a look what we got. So our first one here is block network access. I recommend before you get started, you go into your game, set launch offline. If you're using alt save file, just don't load any mods, just switch this to 0, go in game, switch to launch in offline mode so you don't have to worry about getting banned. Reason why I suggest this is this here will pop up a message every single time if you are online, and it's rather slow when you're loading in, so yeah. Just put that to 0, just for speed. Alternate save file. One thing I'm going to mention, which I think I have here. Yeah, I can't actually show you it on my computer because it will show my actual real name. I don't really know my actual name. Go to here, app data, roaming, Dark Souls 3. You'll have a folder with a bunch of different numbers, which I can actually show the folder with a bunch of numbers. So I've got it pinned to here, and I recommend creating a separate folder called DS3 Save Backups, and creating backup folders for all your mods, and just shoving in save files. So SL3 is the Mod Engine alternate save file, so if that's the alternate save file 1, the save file is going to be used to be SL3. If it's 0, you use your vanilla save, which is SL2. So, see, mine are all SL3 because the alternate save file for all of them, because my Cinders is my SL2. So, that's that. Create a backup. It's highly recommended. Now, what's next in Mod Engine? You're going to have an alternate save file. Load loose params. That needs to be set to A1. Because what we've done with Yapped with creating the Game Param DLC2, so we can go back into our game folder here. Test mod. So this here is considered a loose param. So rather than loading this, it'll load this, which is what you want. So if you don't want loading data 0, then yeah, set load those params to 1. And we can get rid of data 0 now. We don't need it. UXM load there, you don't need that. But this here we can change to directory, which is test mod. Cache file paths, I think it needs to be 0. I'm not too sure. That's the thing I really know about. Debug menu, well, debug console, not debug menu. Debug menu is a whole separate thing. Debug console, you don't need that on. Restore bonfire sacrifice, you don't need that, so it's 0. This one here is also important to chain another DLL. So stuff like Hoodie Patcher, Wex Dust, Blue Sentinel, stuff like that, they use another DLL. So you can chain them here. So yeah, that's mod engine. Let me just close that and save that. And yeah, that should be everything to load up test mod and see if it works. So let's open up Dark Souls 3 and see how badly I stuffed up. If our fireball is nice and glittery, then I have completed this one, and it's good. And then we can move on to Param Studio. If it's not, I have stuffed up entirely, and I will be sad. Ugh. It is way too hot today, by the way. Joy of the summer. So hey, we're not loading one of our old mods, which is fantastic. Gonna create a new game. I chose Fireball just because I know the Pyromancer start split, so just name you whatever, doesn't matter. Class, Pyromancer, and let's go. Yep, there goes the bell. Switch over to that, and what do we get? Oh, nice glitter. Look at that. That is gorgeous. There we go. That's your basic parameters, and the mod set up to actually run. Very easy. So, got that done. That was Yapped Honeybear. That's what I use most of the time. Well, pretty much all the time. But now we're going to get into Param Studio. I think we need to go back here. Yeah, back here. Back. There we go. So we can actually close off Yapped, and we can open up Param Studio. So this is gonna probably scream at me again. Okay, it's got nothing selected, so we need to go for a new project. So we're gonna name this test mod. The project directory is in here. Test mod. Select that folder. Game executable. Select your exe. It'll select Dark Souls 3. Click use loose params, and you can select this if you want to. It'll load the default row names, which are the same ones as Yapped. Or you can just keep the ones you currently have from Yapped Honeybear, which I have there already. It's up to you. I'm going to keep the ones from Yapped Honeybear because I find them a bit more useful. So we are going to create. And there we go. It's created. And if I go into character init param, in here, yeah, you can see it's got the cinders ones. So you could, I think, import, I think still, but I'm not too sure if you can. We could just create a new project and do it from the beginning and get the old row names. It's up to you, but I like the cinders ones to have these because they are slightly better named in a lot of places. So, yeah. So, one of the best features of Param Studio is in here. Hot reload params. So, we are going to go into here. If you want to know better controls for all the tools, the readmes for them generally have them. But here you can just right click on the question mark and it'll tell you what you need to type before you search it. So we want name fireball. There we go. And it's going to give us a bunch of fireballs. And down here is our pyromancy fireball with the new projectile VFX ID. So what are we going to use next for our I don't know. Oh, there's some magic stuff. Let's use a crystal soul spear, because why not? Let's shove that in there. Cool. And be able to save. And I like to click it twice just to make sure that it's saved. Did that save? No, it didn't actually. It completely erased it. Really? Why are you not? Do I need to click off and... Do I need to click somewhere else so it's not got selected and then it will save? There we go. Okay. It's a little bit weird. I don't understand that, but okay. So that's saved. So now if we open up Dark Souls 3... You're gonna love Param Studio because it's not gonna be seeing the loading screens. But having those row names from the Cinders one is really useful to have, and you can just edit them if you want to, edit the names of them. So. I think you need to hit enter, actually, after you put anything in Param Studio, so hit enter after you input stuff, and that actually gets it inputted. So you can, yeah, back into here, continue. And we should fire off a Crystal Soul Spear when we throw our Fireball. Well, it's going to look like Crystal Soul Spear, but it's not actually going to be Crystal Soul Spear. Just a visual of it, so... And so now, we have Param Studio open in another window. So... I need to actually turn off Game Capture. There we go. So now I've got Param Studio open, so you can actually see this. So we just changed the Predict of the FX ID. So what are we going to go for next? I don't know, where's a miracle? Where's a sunlight spear? Yeah, there's a sunlight spear. Cool. So we'll put in sunlight spear. Shove that in there. And hit enter. There we go. And now game, hot reload params. It's going to take a little bit to do that. There we go. I'm going to put back on the game capture. I'm going to alt tab over to the game. If I can. Sorry, I have a bit of a derp there. And let's throw our fireball now. There we go. So that is the really useful feature of Param Studio. Definitely the one I recommend if you're getting into modding because it's going to make your life so much easier. So, yeah. We have gone through the early method, the slightly updated method is slightly better, to get some really good row names, to make stuff a little bit easy for us, and then to the really good program that I really recommend using these days. And that is pretty much the basics of param editing. So, I can actually quit out of that. And I can also F4 that, so it'll go back to my menu. So, I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover in terms of just the basics. You can see there's some stuff here that's not in Yapped. So actually if I open up Yapped, I have it on my desktop for Cinders, so it's fine. You're going to notice that there are some params missing. So if you look here, we have some gem params from Bloodborne. These don't actually function as far as I'm aware, they're just leftovers. If you look here in Yapped, you'll see they're missing. That's because you need to unselect this and relaunch Yapped if you want to see them. There's not much reason to actually show them. So, yeah, a little tidbit there. And, yeah, I think that's everything. Once again, I have to reiterate that I have just skimmed over the tops of all of that. So, yeah. What I recommend for learning param edits is to join server name and just lurk or just ask around, ask how you can do stuff. Generally, people around that are a little bit friendly, willing to help. Another option is to just download an overhaul mod, like I said last episode. Download Param Studio and just have a blast. Most mods will have a project file already, so if we have a look in test mod, it created a message file for us as well because it does menu stuff as well for the items, but also creates a project file, which if you notice, I forgot Cinders. You can see Cinders has one. It's the same project file that Map Studio uses. Ashes doesn't have one, but you can just create one, and I think the Convergence has one. So, yep, Convergence has one. So, yeah, you can use Param Studio to mess around with them, have a look at what they do. So, yeah. That's what I recommend. Just, the fun ones to play around with is definitely the Bullet Param, where you just find a spell and just mess with it. So, I'll leave that VFX thing in the description. and you can just mess around with it and have fun figuring out what all the things here do. The fun ones to play with are down here, where I think somewhere down here, yeah, where you can just make a bullet emit bullets just constantly. You have a bullet and you fire it, and just hundreds of bullets come flying off it. It looks really cool. Make fireworks. It's cool. But I'll get into bullet stuff another time. I'm just rambling on because I don't know whether I've done enough to explain everything properly, unfortunately. So, yeah. I hope that's enough to get you started on program edits at least. That was my goal of this video, to get you started on program edits. If I succeeded in that, hey, I did good. If I didn't, let me know how I can improve. I'd really like to improve these. So, once again, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.